morning. It is Stitchel on Friday, and it is 9:30 on the dot in Pacific time. So hopefully you will be getting an announcement saying, yes, we are here, come and join us. I know that I haven't really joined too many of these live presentations, even though I've done many of them. So I'm not sure what you have to look for, but it depends on what device you are. If you're on your computer, it should pop up. If you're on your phone, it should pop up, but go and check the Victoria Sampler group in Facebook and you will find it there. And don't forget, if you want to join, make sure that you answer all the questions because we're happy to have you. Okay, so let's see, what is new this week? Well, there's quite a few things that we've had to deal with here in Victoria. One of them is that luckily the fire that was threatening Lisa in Port Alberni has been put under control. So we're very happy with you, Lisa, that you were able to do that. And let's see, I have to make sure that I refresh my screen or I won't see any comments. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to do that just to be sure that I can see all your comments and make sure. Yeah, there you are. Good afternoon there in Pennsylvania, Tammy Thompson. Thank you. I'm so glad that you posted. It makes me always feel good when I refresh my screen and I see your comments. So that congratulations to Lisa, no longer threatened in her home, which is just delightful. My heart goes out to those of you who have been experiencing fires all across North America. And if you are personally affected, I hope that you are safe and that you have been able to deal with your particular difficulties. The other thing that's new is that you may all not know this, but I'm pretty sure that it's been on YouTube quite a bit, on the news as well. The United States government, as such as it is, has decided that the de minimis exemption of all of our shipments that go into the United States from Canada, and I think from all the countries around the world, the de minimis was an exemption on anything that came into the U.S., which was under $800, was given an exemption. There was no duty to be paid. However, that has now been removed. So there is no longer an exemption, and whatever duty President Trump has decided to lay on a country will then be applied. So we're not sure where we stand, and we're not going to be sending any kits or our new releases across the border until we know. We'll probably be dealing with Canada Post, and I'm sure you've heard this from other people. Perhaps there are other people who will be mailing things into the United States, and they can no longer do so without, I think it's a 35% tariff on those things, depending on whether it is something to do with CUSMA. I'm sorry, I'm just not that up on all of the duties, etc. So we're going to just wait and see. Next week we should hear from Canada Post, and in the meantime, if you do order one of our kits, and I believe there's only one available, that kit will not go out until we know, and that you don't have to pay 35%. Actually, what it ends up being is that we have to pay. We have to pay ahead of time, and we have to charge you for that as well. So don't get me started. Anyway, but I do want you to know that all of our printed patterns, anything that's printed, can go across the border without any duty. So if you are deciding that you want to buy a printed pattern, because we have a number of them on our website right now, those printed patterns are definitely going across the border with no duty, so you should be able to get those. I do want to establish that the printed patterns are free. Okay. So in the meantime, we are going to be delaying I think we had 2 kits that we were planning on releasing this September 1st. And obviously that has now been adjusted. We're going to have to figure out what we can do from here. And if not, we might have to do something else there, or we might have to forget our release altogether for the United States and only send them to our Canadian and international people. Now, there's been duty on things across the world for many, many years. If I send something to England, I think that the English people, the UK people, will probably also have to pay some kind of duty, but it's not usually 35%. So Let's just wait and see what we can do on this end, and we'll let you know. Okay. Hi, Sue. Good to see you. I'm just going to check on all of the people that have just, since I started talking about the de minimis exemption being taken away. I wanted to say hello to everyone. Lynn Molitor, very nice to see you. It looks like you did the September. I really like your blossoms as well because they are so pretty. I'm so glad that you did that. I love seeing things changed. And as you know, and so it's always fun to see what you come up with. Good. Lynn is there and Sue is there. And Sue, we have to be in touch very soon. It's almost September. I am lax, and maybe we are both a little bit slow in getting in touch, but I know you're coming out, so I have to make sure that we're in touch. Maybe we can do so after this this live thing. And if you're there, then I will message you. Okay, good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Ellen. Hello, everyone. Marty says with extreme sarcasm, yes, I'll have to play with the toys you have for now. Don't worry, we will find a way through this, one way or the other. Lisa had a fall yesterday. Oh no, you can't type. This is obviously you can't type because you've sprained your right wrist and so you can't even finish the chat. So I am so sorry, Lisa, that you had to go through that. Barbara, yes, thank you very much. Good grief is right. There's always something, isn't there? Lately, things have become extremely difficult for trade anywhere across the world. So we're not going to belabor the point. I don't think that any of the people that are here don't understand what's going on, so I'm not even going to get into it because this is not a political thing here. I just wanted to let everyone know that we have to wait to release our new kits until we know what's going on with our postage and duty into the United States. Marcia Buckingham, good morning this week from Missouri? Mississippi? I'm sorry. Dorothy, England has resumed orders to the U.S. They had ceased for a short time. The tariffs are now applied to their product. Yes, I know, but unfortunately their tariffs are 10% and ours are 35% at this time. And if I can figure out a way to get the 35 down to 10, I would be most happy for all of you. Yes, says Sue. Okay, good. And Margaret Andrew, good morning all. Good morning to you also. It's very good to see you. Let's see. I noticed that it is Labor Day here. Now, I spell labor with an O-U, and I said it in my newsletter. Labor is not L-A-B-O-R to us. We still have the English spelling. And so we're very often, I find myself putting O-U-R just automatically. And then I noticed that someone wrote in and said, don't you know it's spelled labor, L-A-B-O-R? No. Anyway, I'm sorry, but I'm Canadian. So I'm going to stop trying to be American spelling. I'm just going to spell it the way that I know about. Anyway, we have this marvelous, really beautiful, huge fairgrounds that has been established for over 100 years. Apparently, the original fairgrounds were very close to where I'm living now, but they were much too small. I think in the 80s, they ended up closing it off and putting houses on. So then they bought one called the Saanich Fairgrounds, and it is huge. I think it was a big farm to begin with. And so it's been going on for over 100 years, this fair, and it's a farmer's fair. It's like anywhere. We are very agricultural here on the peninsula, I'll call it, near Victoria. There's a lot of small farms, which was the inspiration for all my small farms that I'm going to show you in a minute. Anyway, so what has happened is that every year at this time, usually on the Labor Day weekend, we have the Saanich Fall Fair. And it's mostly, I know it's mostly, almost everyone who has farms in their area, they're going to know about fall fairs. I'm not even sure. There might be fall fairs in the big cities too. I just don't know. But I know in small towns there certainly are. And the fall fair here, I'm going to it. It's got rides, and it's got horseback riding lessons. And so then they have these shows go on with horsebacks riding. And they don't have, not in Victoria, we're not really cowboy country, so we don't have bucking broncos or anything like that. That's more for Alberta. But in BC, we do have a lot of English horseback riding, which is really fun. And then we also have a lot of floral displays. Victoria in particular is a garden city. We have way many gardens. Many people here take making flowers in their garden, making beautiful gardens, a huge, huge deal. So we're very excited because there's always an incredible floral display. And of course, there's also the farm displays. There you will see the biggest pumpkin. One of my friends actually was one who won that prize one year. He worked so hard and he got this pumpkin that was so massive and was all flat, you know how it goes. Anyway, so he won the pumpkin prize. So there's all sorts of wonderful things. And there's also a very small little niche where there's needlework, and there's quilting, and there's stitching. And very often, there aren't very many entries, but it's always really fun for me to drop in there. So I don't know if I'll be able to get to the fair without getting on. I'm thinking of getting on a bus because parking there is going to be horrendous. So I'll figure it out, but it's going to be really fun this weekend. And I'm wondering if any of you are going to the farmers fair in your area, whether it's a farmers or not. Now, let me see what everyone's saying. And Margaret, yes. Mississippi, thank you, Marsha Buckingham. I was right the last time. Dorothy says, oh, Lisa, I strained my neck yesterday, so I join you in pain. I'm just miserable. And I hope you too heal quickly, Dorothy. It's so easy to do, isn't it? As we get a little older, I think that I'm finding my mid-back is really out of joint as well, and I'm constantly kind of favoring it. Lisa, take care of yourself, and hopefully it will heal soon as well. Make sure you put lots of ice on that wrist, because you can't stitch with a wrist like that, can you? Anyway, I'm thinking about you, and hopefully maybe I'll be in touch with you after as well. That's really nice. Thanks, Dorothy. Both of you get better really fast. I know you'll take care of yourselves, which is important. Tedra, good morning, Thea from Phoenix. Oh, thank you. By the way, everyone, my name is Thea, not Thea. We had our first big haboob in several years on Monday. It was quite a sight to see, and the hard rain and thunderstorm after the wall of dust rolled through the valley. Let's see, haboob. Let me think what that is. I think it's a rainstorm. Tedra. I don't know. Maybe it's a local word, or maybe it's just one of those misspellings. Let me know. Good morning from the sunny Atlanta, says Jean Morrison. Good morning to you. And Louise Fossa, there you are. Very nice. Good to see you too. And Dorothy, England is charging 7.5% to 15% depending on the order amount. The tariff stuff makes my brain hurt. Me too. Thanks, Dorothy. Have fun at the State and Sandwich Fair. I will. I haven't gone for a few years, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. I used to just go and wander and look at chickens and pigs, and I have nothing to do with them, but it is really interesting to see all the different things that go on there. And if I go with the girlfriend, maybe the two of us can laugh a little bit, which will be fun. Okay, so Rosella did tiny blossoms again for her little dollhouse. I don't know if you saw that or not. Make sure that you go and say hi and tell her how much you like those little blossoms that she puts in the frame. And the frame she cuts out of wine bottles. I'm thinking she's drinking a lot of wine. I told her that too. Congratulations, Rosella. And Philippe has started on his 6 blossoms so far, so I guess he's going to do the other 6 later. But he's up to June right now. And Louise, you have done a beautiful job with your red poppies. I noticed those this morning. Very, very nice. Who else there? Donna, you started the Biscornu. I'm so excited to see your rendition, because yours is slightly different, as you say. You're not using the things in the kit because you got a pattern instead of the kit. Well, congratulations, because now you can choose whatever materials that you want, right? And the materials you've chosen are just so soft and so pretty, Donna. I am so impressed, and I can hardly wait to see how it all turns out, because I know you'll do a wonderful job on the finishing. So well done, Donna, as always. And let's see. Oh yeah, you're using dinky dyes, I think, and it looks like a kind of gray linen. I'm not sure what color it is, but as far as the color name is concerned. Tammy finished her Bling Tree 2. Congratulations, Tammy. I have to say, that Bling Tree 2 is looking way better than mine. I'm just going to be honest. Your Bling Tree 2 is just perfect. It's awesome. It's brilliant, as the British say. Congratulations on a great finish. I'm so pleased for you, and you really did a nice job in substituting a few things that you just wanted to. Looks absolutely wonderful. And let's see. And oh yeah, Lynn Molitor. Lynn, you did the blossoms, but you did them in a different color. Congratulations. That's a great idea, because you don't want to put two blues together. I think that's what you did, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or was it? No, it was Mary who changed the colors. Oh, I've got this written down wrong, I think. Yeah. Mary changed the colors to pink. So it wasn't you, Lynn, although you did yours in violet, as I recall. Not quite blue, but violet blue, which was stunning. I remember that now. And it looks like Mary Widowitz, I think, she changed the color of her blossoms because she had laid out her blossoms in a different way. So her July was blue already, and that underneath that, adjacent to it, was going to be another blue, and she didn't want that, so she changed the color. Very good. Listen, those of you who are changing colors or changing anything, well done. I just love it when you change things and you become your own designer, and you don't have to start from scratch, because I've given you lots of hints and you've got a pattern. This is actually, when you think about it, this is the kind of patterns that people used to get from, I think, DMC and Anchor. They would give you filled in, colored squares, and you just do what you want with them. There was no direction where you do it in this color and you make it in this color. I don't know if you remember that or not, but I remember these cute little booklets, and they were little people and blossoms and a variety of different things. Very simple, but those motifs were interpretable, which is what this blossom designs, this 12-month stitch along is actually all about. And when you think about how these patterns came about in our lifetime, that's one thing. But in the past, as my newsletter has said, if you read my newsletter, you'll read that a lot of the printed patterns started in the 1500s, just after, of course, the printing press was invented. And definitely people were not able to do anything more than just kind of scribble down or do the stitching, as far as their memory is concerned, as far as the stitches were concerned, and how to transfer one pattern from someone else who they really liked it. They would have to copy it, put it on their own sampler, and then they would remember it for where they wanted to use it. Well, when printed patterns came out, it's really quite interesting. I think printed patterns became kind of like suggestions on paper, which was way different than what they had been doing up until then. And of course, they were still a little more expensive than they wanted them to be. But it's so interesting to me to see there have been patterns all the way from the 1500s in Europe to now, basically. And during that whole time, very little instruction was given as to what threads to use and what materials to use and how you do this and how you do that. So I'm not saying that it's not good to have that, but if you use your own imagination, you get so much more involved. You interpret whatever it is you see, and you interpret it your way, which is what I love, as you all know. There we go. Oh, is that a big dust storm? Okay, let me see, Margaret. Let's see, what was it called again? It is a big dust storm. Let me see. I know it's there somewhere. Of course, now I'm missing it. It's quite the neat word. I'm losing it. That's okay. I just think that's just the best word ever. I've never heard of that before. So thank you, Margaret. And we saw it on the news. Okay. Patra, you're here. Good morning. It's nice to see you. I can't believe that you're here. Nice. You haven't been around for a while, so it's really good to have your attention. Thank you so much. Lynn says, I used violet because we had morning glories in those colors. You said that, yes, on Facebook. And I know what you mean because I've seen them. And those are the right colors. So again, thank you for choosing the colors you wanted. Tammy says, on the Bling Tree 2, I didn't tack down the beaded garlands. Good idea. I didn't like how it looked with the garland. I semi-followed the diagram up close to the tree. Yes, actually, you know, those garlands, when you use those and you don't tack them down, then they don't artificially sit somewhere, right? But the one thing is that if you're moving it, you have to make sure that the that the garlands stay where you want them to be. So I have done it both ways, and I know exactly what you're saying, and good for you. You decided not to tack them down. Good, no problem. Donna says the fabric is blue. Oh, okay, good, Donna. And when you're taking the picture, let me see, how can you make it more blue? It's kind of hard to do. Cameras they kind of lie. Phone cameras kind of lie when it comes to the color, but maybe you'll get one that looks a little more blue than usual. It depends. Like, I move my stuff around in the house, and when I get the color that I look through the camera and I say, oh no, it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look good in the picture on my camera. So I do the same thing. Sometimes I put on a light, and the light is a bit more yellow, so I get more blue out of a gray piece of fabric. But anyway, you decide. Haboob, that's it. Never heard that name. Thanks, Tetra. Oh, that's so cute. Thanks, Margaret. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you are too. Let's see. What else is there? Oh, yes. I wanted to make sure that I showed you a couple of the farms. So, how can I say? I started the farms with something called the Raven Hill Herb Farm. There is one just down the street. That's what it's called, Raven Hill Herb Farm. So I didn't change the name or anything like that. And it is a farm that actually supplies the herbs to almost all the restaurants in the Victoria area. So they get fresh herbs from this herb farm. I'm not sure if it's exactly as it was in its heyday, but I know that they have done an amazing job. Their herb gardens are just vast. I couldn't really make the sampler exactly like that, but they had their herbs completely isolated from one another because they tend to grow together too much. So that's the first one. And then the second one, can't remember if the second one was actually, but I think it was the Christmas tree farm called Jingle Bells. And there is, again, a Jingle Bell farm, Christmas tree farm down the road from my old house. And so I used the name from that, and they have a really big area that they have for Christmas trees. So that's how the small farms got started, because we have a lot of small farms. Let's see. Sue says, I've had good results capturing blue when I take a picture outdoors. You're right. Outdoors, you'll get that daylight, but you have to be in the shade rather than in the sunshine, I think. Margaret says it's from an Arabic word. Hab means wind. Oh, that's even nicer. Now I'm starting to like it. It's just the boob part, okay? Haboob. Anyway, so then I did a number of other small farms. And as the farms kind of expanded, I did them in different seasons too. Like the strawberry farm, for instance. The strawberry farm was done right around, I think it was meant for, and I know it was released around May, because all our strawberries get ripe around May and June, and that's when we go strawberry picking. And I had lots of good memories about about strawberry picking. And I've shown you this one around that same time in May or June, and so I'm not going to show you or talk about it too much. I love these little people having strawberry strawberry juice. And then I have also got two that are more around this time of year. And the reason is that orchards are almost always very bulging with fruit around this time of year. And there will be all this fruit. There will be apples soon. We get them in the fall, right? So there's apples, and there's all of these. This is a picket fence, so there's no there's no fruit on the picket fence. I know that much. These are meant to be apricots or peaches, and of course you got the brambles, which are either, let's say, they could be loganberries, I think, because no, not loganberries. They might be blackberries. I'm not sure. They could be loganberries though, because those are quite red looking. And there's people in the loganberries picking them. And then down here you'll get the plums. And what's this one here? I believe these are the green apples. Can't see if you can see those green apples. Yeah, you can see, kind of. And then these are the red or dark purple plums. And down here you see some more. Let me see what that. These are, oh, these are cherries. I know these are cherries. And then of course we got the fruit pies coming from this wonderful thing, which is called Oldfield Orchard. And the reason it's called Oldfield because there's a lot of orchards on Oldfield Road, which is again not too far from here. People who go to Oldfield Road, they'll also get tomatoes. They'll get, there's a huge local farm stand there where you get a lot of other things as well. But each farm has their own stand now. And what I love about Vancouver Island or Southern Vancouver Island is they don't have video cameras looking at you to see if you're paying. We're all on the honor system, and we put it in the tin can. We put our loonies and toonies in the tin can, and then they just trust people, and they trust them not to get their corn and just run away with it. And I am so happy that we still have that little bit of country graciousness in our little area here. The next one I wanted to show you was McDonald Farm, and this one actually exists just the other side of the highway from me, and it is called Old McDonald Farm. No, it's not old. It is McDonald's Farm, but this one is Old McDonald Farm is what I called this one. And there's McDonald's standing there. The reason I like this is because it has not just plants growing, but also cows and sheep. And I think they're going for a race here. I'm not sure. And then, of course, you see the little goats. There's always little goats at these farms, pigs, and you see the horse and the dog and the ducks in the pond. And honestly, this is exactly what it is like there at McDonald's Farm, except that the barns don't look like this. Okay, none of the barns do. The barns are really utilitarian. I created the look of the barns myself. I couldn't do it any other way. And there you have their little chickens, etc. And you have, what are these guys? Let's see. Oh, that's that's her feet. Okay, so and then you have, of course, the little stand by the side of the road. So my opinion in as far as these small farms are concerned, they always make me feel so good around this time of year, because they're everywhere where I look. Those are where the farms are, and I am sure you have some kind of farms that look a little bit like those too. So maybe one of them will strike your fancy. Let's see. Lisa says, I have stitched all the farm samplers except for the Oldfield Orchard. Well then, I guess it's time for you to look at the Oldfield Orchard, my dear. Let's see. I have an angel card waiting. I'm sure I have to not look so that I can get this done correctly. They are fun to stitch, Petra. Reclaim your power and regain your freedom. I think this is something that the entire world needs to know right now. What do you think? I do think that, there are some people who are starting to step up, and I am doing my best to do the same thing. Let's put it that way. So reclaim your power and regain your freedom. We have a lot of power, and we don't use it very often. We just say, oh, somebody else will do it. I think we all need to step up. So that's my interpretation of that. Exactly, Louise. I do think it's a perfect card at this time particularly, and that's what I'm going to do when it comes to the kits that are going to be released soon, and also of the Floral Biscornu kits, which we are not sending out yet, not until we know what's happening with our tariff on our kits. I have to figure that out, and Lisa and I will probably get together on next week, and we will find out if Canada Post has a system ready for us, and if it does, then there may be a small tariff, but we'll make sure that you don't have to pay too much. Certainly not 35%, which is what so far it sounds like it is. But we're going to work it out. We're going to work it so that we can figure out what you would be paying as far as tariffs concerned from Canada into the U.S. And it's only into the U.S., as we all know. All the rest of the world hasn't got any problem. They're all figured out already. So that's the end of my Stitch Along Friday. I'm really sorry because it went really fast, but I had a lot of things to talk about, and you all listened so very nicely. I didn't get to ask you very many questions, but I did ask you at one point, are you going to a country fair? So I didn't get any answers and say, yes, I'm going to the country fair, or no, I'm not going. Not all of us want to go and muck around with the pigs and the horses like I'm going to this weekend. Let's see, I'm going to go to the country fair probably first thing tomorrow, or I could go this afternoon. And actually, that's a preview of the country fair, so I may just go this afternoon and check it out so I can see what the parking is going to be like, because all those country roads, they chock a block with people. All the people come from Victoria, of course, and so these country roads, they're not big, they're not highways, so it's just amazing what the traffic looks like around this time of year. So I think the people that live around there are going to have to stay home for 2 or 3 days this weekend. That's their Labor Day weekend. Have a great weekend, everyone. Exactly. Thank you, Marty. I appreciate that, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend too. And I will see you again next week on Friday morning, and we'll have some news for all of you then. And hopefully we'll all be able to release our new designs, and we'll let you know what we're up to by then. Okay. Take care of yourselves. Lots of love, and see you next Friday. Bye-bye.